So the Hyundai Venue has been around for nearly 3 years, and in that time it has seen quite a significant growth in the Indian market. The Venue is sold in North America and Australia, but 2 out of 3 Venues sold globally is in India. So it is pretty safe to assume that this is the most significant product for Hyundai. And for 2022, they have made quite a lot of significant changes on the Venue. When you look at its competition, one is its sibling, one has gone electric, and one is now not in the Indian market anymore. So if you look at it, the Venue doesn't really have a competition, but let us still look at what's new about the Venue. Let us begin. So for 2022, the changes on the exterior are quite significant. But before I get to that, let me talk about the fact that Hyundai has retained things that were really interested and people really liked about the Venue, such as its bold character, its SUV-like design, and most importantly, its compact dimensions. With that, here are the changes for the 2022 Venue. What you now have is this dark chrome grille on the front. You have fully LED projector headlights. Move over to the side and you have this diamond cut 16-inch alloy wheels. Now the rest of the silhouette of the car remains the same, but the best thing about this car is the rear. While the changes on this front and the side are quirky, what really caught my attention is the changes that are made to the rear of the Venue. While it does maintain the similar design, what I really now like is this connected LED tail light that it has, which really is a segment first and also makes it look from a segment a lot above. Not only that, it honestly looks quite quirky and it resembles another vehicle. Let me know in the comments which vehicle that is. Overall, I like the design elements of the Venue, and in all honesty, compared to its competitors, it does stand out in a crowd, especially when you go for the red color with the black roof. While the changes on the outside for the 2022 Venue are extremely noticeable, the changes on the inside for the Venue are pretty subtle. You do really need a keen eye to notice the changes. For instance, what remains is the 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system. But what's new is a brand new digital TFT display for the driver's display. Moreover, there have been updates to the Blue Link as well. To know more, click the link in the description or click the pop-up icon above. You also get a wireless charger as standard. But for 2022, the Venue does have a few segment-first features, such as a Type-C USB charger, 4-way adjustable driver's seat, 2-way reclinable rear passenger seat, 60-40 split rear passenger seat. You also have an auto healthy air purifier, rear AC vents, and ambient lighting in the inside. Now moving on to the rear seat, passengers would appreciate the fact that the front seats have a slight carve in them, allowing for more legroom, and overall headroom is good as well. Moreover, you can increase the space for the rear passengers when you recline the seat slightly, that the Venue now allows. So just like the previous Venue, this too carries the same powertrains that it had before, which is the 1.2 litre petrol, the 1 litre turbo petrol, and the 1.5 litre diesel engine. Now what I have with me today is the 1 litre turbo petrol engine, which is mated to this IMT gearbox. You also have an option of a 7-speed DCT gearbox, but that is something I can't drive right now. Let me talk about a few talking points about the Venue, because in all honesty, it is pretty much the same under the skin. But nonetheless, there are a few talking points that I would want to mention. One is the NVH levels. I was surprised by the NVH levels because you do hear a lot of engine noise on the inside, no matter what speed you are at. If it's in the city or even if it's on the highway, if you're cruising at the speed of 80, you are going to hear a lot of engine noise on the inside. Well, if that is a downside, there are a lot of other plus sides as well. For instance, the steering dynamics is pretty bang on. Yes, I must admit that it doesn't feel like a sports car, but when you do want to go on those corners and you want to hug those corners, it does give you a good amount of feedback. Speaking about feedback, the brakes are pretty decent. I hope they had a bit more bite, but that is something I'm worth compromising because most people would drive this car in the city, and for that, this is pretty good. If you talk about the suspension is very supple. You don't have a lot of jittery. I went over a bad patch of road right now and you honestly can't feel it on the inside, which simply means that the road doesn't really jitter the car and the passengers won't feel tired after a long journey. If you ask me, the biggest USP for Hyundai is the features that it offers. Well, if you ask me again, the space on the inside is not the best, but what is its USP is that Hyundai offers a whole bunch of features that would attract any customer. Although this doesn't have ventilated seats, that is something that I noticed that its competitor offers. But on the other side, you do have the electric seat, which is something that nobody else offers. You have a sunroof, you have the screen, you have a lot of features that will keep you happy, but I would really want to have ventilated seats as well. Now, truth be told, I am personally not a huge fan of these IMT gearboxes. I would much rather have a proper manual or a proper automatic. But that being said, these gear shifts are pretty seamless. You don't have any of the jerks when you tend to not slot it in gear properly. And moreover, the acceleration feels pretty seamless as well, even when you're shifting gears, because it does that for you automatically when you're shifting between gears. The one thing I really enjoy about the Venue is the seating position that you have, because you are sitting pretty high, with something a lot of people would appreciate, and you get to see a lot of road in front of you, which simply means that you always are able to see any obstacle that you are reaching or the road very clearly. Plus, with these large windows, you don't have any blind spots. Something I really am admiring about the Venue the more time I'm spending with it. So if you ask me, as an overall package, the Venue is very good. It has its downsides, such as the space that I mentioned, the ventilated seats that I would love to have, and things here and there which are a compromise, but that is again cost saving from Hyundai, such as this plastic here. Yeah, it looks good, but it doesn't feel that great. And if you're going to be spending a whole lot of money buying the top spec variant, you would want slightly better interiors. But in the end, all in all, a pretty good car. Now, the one aspect that we Indians are really particular about is safety. And I am happy to report that we Indians are finally being really concerned about safety. And the Venue has us covered there, because it does offer a whole bunch of safety tech such as ABS, EBD, traction control, stability control, 6 airbags, all come standard no matter what variant you buy. Moreover, like I said, the brakes are pretty good as well. So in terms of safety, the Venue does finally appeal to the people who really want to be safe in their car. Now, after spending the entire day with the Venue, I must admit that having not driven the Venue entirely before, I finally understand why a lot of people, including you guys, are interested about the Venue. Now, with its nice updates on the exterior, it certainly has the charisma over its competitors. And moreover, when you look at the pricing, it is priced pretty bang on that will fit everybody's budget. Again, the engines really never needed tweaking, and the powertrains are perfectly suitable for this car, including the fact that it looks pretty muscular, feels like an SUV, and is a pretty compact car to begin with. Anybody looking to buy their first car would certainly look at this, and that is exactly what Hyundai says as well, that most of their owners are first-time buyers. And if you ask me, the only real competition that the Venue really has is one from its cousin, and second is the upcoming Vitara Brezza. But until then, this is certainly the reigning king in the compact SUV segment. With that, I would like to thank you for your time. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. This is Yash Sunil signing out. Bye-bye.